Ready?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this, what is a live stream now on YouTube, but we'll leave this available to you to watch on demand whenever you like. This is a slightly different style of conversation today because so far we've been chatting to a bunch of ICO founders, and it's been very, very interesting and worthwhile conversing with them. But today we have something slightly different, and it's very interesting because Harshita here is with me, and she is an app developer all the way from India. And she has been working on an app which has immediately caught my eye. Why? Because it's an amazing user experience designed cryptocurrency tracker, something that personally I wish I had developed myself. So I'm being extremely selfish here to promote something that I wish I had the skills to make so nicely. Personally, I've been hacking on something that is nowhere near as nice and neat as what she's going to demonstrate for us kindly today. But without further ado, I'm just going to pass it over to you, Harshita, for both introduction as to first tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came about um, working on this app, please.
Sure, thank you. I'm Harshita and I'm 16 years old. I learned app development and design about a year ago, making multiple apps and publishing my first one at MIT Launch summer program this year. For this app, I got the idea when I was just browsing the App Store, trying to find an app that I could simply keep myself updated with all the cryptocurrency prices after having come across the term on the internet. So I wanted to make sure that I know how much the prices for all sorts of cryptocurrencies across different exchanges is, and so I could also set price alerts and potentially also have price graphs for historical prices. But I tried out a few free apps. I didn't like the UI of them. It was so complicated to use. And then I paid for another app, which was like $4.99, and that turned out to have too many features and was very confusing to use. So being a UX lover, I started drawing all sorts of designs for what could be a good way to have an app that just shows the cryptocurrency and the price in just a simple interface without having to go through all the unnecessary elements in the screen. So I had been following the Apple Design Awards 2017 for winners for a while, and one of the apps, Elk, that had won the award, had a very beautiful design of two-column system where you present one type of information on the left column and the other type of information on the right column, and it's super simple to look at. So I was like, why not have the crypto on the left and price on the right, and let the user select the exchange on the left heading and select the fiat currency for conversion on the right heading. So I started drawing and I came up with some wireframes for the main interface, which I can now show in the screen share. Let me turn that on. I hope you can see that. Can you, Jason? All right. Yeah, so this is a design of the main interface, and these are the cryptos. This is their current pricing. You can scroll around. This is more than 1,000 cryptocurrencies for now, and these are all their prices. And you can click over here and change the exchange. You can go with Kraken, Gemini. I think Kraken is pretty popular, so I selected Kraken, because people tend to be pretty picky about what exchange they want to select, since all exchanges have different prices. So as you can see, this is different Bitcoin and all the cryptos that are listed on Kraken. You can convert that into a currency of your choice, depending on where you're living. So because I'm in India, let me select INR. My laptop is burning out, so it's taking a little while. So here you go, in INR. And then there's a search for quick searching. So super easy to select. this is not that big of a deal in something like Kraken where there's only 16, 17 cryptos, but say if you were going to go with all cryptos and you wanted to select some random cryptocurrency. So let's turn the search off. There we go. And we have all the 1,000 plus cryptocurrencies. So if I wanted to select something random like say Neo, I could be N, E. So, the search is used and makes it more convenient so you don't have to scroll every time. So next is the wish list, which is in the works. So you can simply add elements, add cryptos that you want to watch without having to scroll through thousands and thousands of them. Simply add one. This is currently a mock-up. It's not doesn't show the real pricing, as you can see. So this is something I'm working on. So when you click on that, you can add a crypto by selecting the coin, which I'm going to have a pop-up for. Then you can select the exchange, and then you can select the currency, and you can add that element. This is for push notifications. So alerts, you can same add over here. And there's two types of alerts. There's going to be time-based alert, and then there's variable-based alerts. Time-based alerts are going to allow you to be able to get an alert that I need the Bitcoin at 7 a.m. For example, what the price of Litecoin every Sunday at 10 a.m., for example. And threshold-based alerts are based on when the price of Bitcoin passes 15,000 USD, notify me. Or when the price of Ethereum changes by 10%, send me a notification. So you can have all those conditions over here, and this is going to be, they're going to have to set up a server for it to be able to handle all the personalized push notifications. So this is the portfolio. Here, this except for the main interface, everything else is a mock-up for now. Raw build. So this is a portfolio where you can set, add, just like the same animation here. You can add the currency you want to follow, and I'm sorry, that was for the alert. So here you can tell what crypto you own, how much of that do you own, what was the buying price. And then you can monitor your 24-hour gain, your total gain over time, and then you can set as many as you want. And you can also send an alert saying that when my portfolio's highest value or lowest value is this, set an alert. Next, the last one is just settings to be able to change the language and rate the app. It doesn't offer functionality, but it's still there. So yeah, and another thing that I'm coding is that whenever the user clicks on the crypto, they can see a price graph, which shows all the historical prices over a period of 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, and 1 year. So all of that will be possible. What was that? Yeah, hang on. Looks like some bug. Anyway, I'll go back to the normal. All right. I think your audio is off.
Amazing, amazing. I was trying to present, I don't know why this, there you go. I was trying to present your screen, but then it went all super
okay.
mega.
I thought that was a bug in my Google Hangouts.
Yeah, like the demo is amazing. I'm just kind of gobsmacked on my end because I come from like a development background myself. So I was a full stack developer and then a front end developer and now like UX designer and so on. So I'm just gobsmacked about the fact that you're 16, you did this all yourself and you're working on such a kind of advanced use case, which is the cryptocurrency trading and monitoring. So the front screen that you showed with like multiple currencies, especially the app pulling in prices from various exchanges. Tell me a little bit about how are you managing to get that data into the app and how much time has that taken you to kind of develop through those data feeds?
Sure. So I am using third-party APIs. For all cryptos, I'm using the CoinCap.io API. And for the exchanges, I'm using CryptoWatch API. So CryptoWatch has a limit of 8 CPU seconds per hour per client. So I didn't need to set up anything or any logic for that. I'm simply using the API and the code itself. So whenever the app is launched and it is on users' phones, they don't give out an API key, so they don't track. They only request that you don't use more than 8 per hour, which approximately allows me to have 150 to 160 calls per minute. And I am making a call every 6 seconds to the CryptoWatch API as well as to the CoinCap API. And then I'm also using a currency rate API to be able to convert when it comes to all cryptos. CryptoWatch has fiat currencies for all the cryptos. It has currency pairs like BTC, INR, BTC, USD, BTC, GBP, etc. So those are again from CryptoWatch itself. But for CoinCap, it only has prices in USD, and I want to make my app international. I'm also supporting more than 8 languages inside the app, translating as I showed in the settings where you can change the language. That is because I want to be able to serve a global market, because cryptocurrencies are becoming more and more global. So that is why I wanted to be able to convert the prices of the cryptos that are from a generic website and not a specific exchange. Usually the price difference is not that big, but after doing a lot of research, I've noticed that people in the crypto community care a lot about where they're getting their data from, and there's a specific set of people who only trust a certain exchange and not any other. So I wanted to be able to have all the exchanges so that people know that they are getting the accurate data from the exchange they trust, and they have options to choose from.
Yeah, and
As you asked about the limit.
it's a thing about the exchange is not so much about trusting the data, but the fact that there's so much arbitrage between different exchanges and different price ranges. So people love to buy Bitcoin from places that are selling at the lowest price or whatever, and that is the super cool aspect of your app. Just that in itself is an amazing feature that's worth having in the app, just that on its own, away from everything else that you've shown. Sorry, I sort of jumped into your statement there. Tell me.
Statement that you, sorry, what?
You were saying something, but I kind of cut you off slightly.
No problem. I think I was just saying that, yeah, it's also about the that they have bought cryptocurrencies from a certain exchange, so they only want to be able to see data from that exchange. Not, as you said, it's not just all about trust, it's also about the functionality, the feature, right?
Yeah, precisely. And so tell me what is the plan now with this app? I'm still kind of sitting here in shock that you're 16 and you've got your sort of plan worked out as to what to do with this. Tell me what the plan for go live is. I guess like many people around the world have been kind of on your case now. It's like, when is it going to go live? You show the screenshot, like, I want to use that now.
Thank you. So currently I'm coding. As you can see that there is a lot of coding to be done, and I have the raw build ready. The main interface is all ready. I need the price graphs and the wish list, alerts, and portfolio to be coded. Each of them going to take anywhere between 2 and 5 days. So I think within the next 2 weeks, I should have coded it completely, and I would be uploading it to TestFlight for testing. So I'm going to share it with the close network and friends, including you, to test the app and report any bugs or ask for any changes and so on. And should be around 21st January or 28th January, I should be able to launch, since I read on the internet that Sundays are the best day for launching your app to optimize for the maximum number of downloads. If the app is done, the build for the app is done before 10th January, then it should be 21st January, because 1 week for testing and so on, and submission to Apple for review before I launch. So yeah, should be within January itself. Because majority of the work, which includes research, brainstorming, designing, and setting the raw build, right now I have the Xcode project ready, and I have all things specifically described all the goals things that I need to code. So there is no question of whether something is possible or not, or whether something is good to have or not, because the plan is in place. So I just need to do the work now. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. I just, like, from my experience, I would just strongly advise you, if there is such a thing as advice, you know, any more. I strongly advise you to just really narrow down the set of functionality that you release with, especially in the first release, because there is something that you will keep from users for starters, right? And it's going to keep them on the edge of their seats, right? But also it gives you more time to test with those core pieces of functionality. Like, for example, that home screen where you're able to pull in prices from different exchanges already is like a hugely valuable thing, and it's like a pivotal thing around your overall experience in the app. And that in itself, you could just say, like, well, that if that was the app alone, or just that functionality, it would already be like a super valuable app to use anyway. So I'd say maybe work on releasing a first release that is around that core functionality, and then say come in the next releases are things like portfolio and so on. So always tricky to get that balance right, but
I
you know,
keep
just
putting back all the advice people give for future updates. So someone recently told me that I should support Apple Watch as well, so that people can customer service I do and integrate my iOS app. So I keep learning that, so that 1.0 I can make updates which will take me 1 or 2 weeks of coding and will make the users happier. So, but it's important that I launch with with the basic set of features and functionality as soon as possible, so as to really get the users with the current stuff.
amazing, amazing. And so tell me a little bit about what your future plan with the app is. Obviously, you've got these like ideas as to what to release with the functionality and so on. What about the broader plan in terms of any business that you want to build around this, or are you seeing this as more of a kind of hobby project that you're learning from and so on?
Well, it is a business because I was pricing the app at 199 USD. So hopefully, even though I didn't spend a lot of money, so I think it should be profitable after 1 week if I am able to meet my expected target of getting 1,000 downloads in week number 1. It totally depends on how much traction it gets. I recently applied for 1517 fund, which is kind of like an incubator, a startup funding incubator for younger people. It was started by Daniel Stroutman, who was in the founding team of Thiel Foundation for Thiel Fellowship. So I have an interview with them on 25th January. So hopefully 4 days after the launch, if I'm able to code everything quickly. So that is one thing that I'm looking forward to if it gains traction. If it doesn't gain traction, I'll try by introducing more features, doing better marketing. I also plan on launching on Product Hunt. I have emailed a lot of journalists and like started working on some spreadsheets with a lot of journalists and their emails and their Twitter handle. Journalists were in my niche. To be able to get more views on the app, and I've also read a lot about App Store optimization to be able to make sure that my app ranks high for the keywords that I'm choosing. So all of that to ensure that I am able to get the downloads. But this is going to be a project, and I've also entering into Diamond Challenge, which is a high school entrepreneurship competition for teenagers who have a business concept and a prototype, which I do now, and I'm about to finish my application for it. So a lot of things surrounding this application, which will ensure that I am able to work on it for a couple of months. And I'm trying to research on all sorts of opportunities to ensure that I get a lot of users trying out the app, giving feedback, and suggesting me ways to improve. And even people, especially the community on Product Hunt, is very is enthusiastic about the tech, so they give you, and especially when you tell a good story to them, they'll give you feedback on, say, things like your design and give you more suggestions, not just on the product, but you as the maker of the product, for more products that you might be wanting to launch in the future. So all of that, and also posting on Reddit. I'm also super active on Quora.com. So all of these places on the internet to be able to make sure that lots of people try their hands on the app, and I get lots of feedback and suggestions for future updates and also for future products that I make.
Wow, I'm super amazed by you. I mean, in terms of your planning and vision for the product, as well as the ability that you've been able to execute this, and just getting engaged with the PR, the press, and so on. I feel super actually special that I'm speaking to you before everyone kind of plows in on speaking to you in the big media. So just tell me a little bit more about yourself in terms of, you're going to school at the moment. Before this interview, I didn't quite realize that you're 16. Knowing that you're 16 is just super cool to know that. And, at Integral, we're very much about, giving women around the world front stage about, what they do and so on. So I'm personally very happy to be speaking to a 16-year-old Indian young lady, who's coding, and who is not just coding any old stuff, but actually making an app and a product that's got potential to be a super hit, worldwide. So tell me a little bit about more what you're working on, and we'll start wrapping up.
Well, I'm an unschooler since about a year, so I don't attend traditional school. Which has probably allowed me to be able to learn so much in such a short period of time and build a product and be able to code 100 hours a week. Well, other than that, I'm also on the side, I'm working on a different type of application for personal health and wellness category to build something for the Paradigm Challenge. So that's another thing that I'm up to, but that's just on the side for now because this is the full-time thing. Was that your question, right? Oh, what else I do with my time? So yeah, that is what I'm working on, trying to make sure that I learn as much as possible and also build products that solve some problems that people have.
All right, so since it's beginning of the 2018, tell us a little bit about your 2018 aspirations and your aspirations for life in the years to come as well, please.
That's an interesting question. And I remember 2 days ago, I was making plans for what I want to achieve in 2018, or at least try to achieve. The first goal is obviously to launch Crypto Price Tracker within a month, possibly within January. Apply for the Diamond Challenge, apply for other opportunity, make the most out of them. And after this, I actually emailed Apple recently, a day ago, asking them about the student apps for the Apple Design Awards, because I'm particularly proud of my design. I was hoping that if it could be nominated for that. So when it launches, just asking because it stopped it in 2017. So I was wondering if they still have that. So that would be one of the goals that I would want to achieve, is winning an app design award. That's like winning an Oscar in app making. So that's one thing. Another would be to WWDC 2018 scholarship, be one of the scholars for Apple's annual conference. Once I am done with Crypto Price Tracker, once it's launched and it's no longer that much of a time commitment, I would be working on something in personal health and wellness space, building an application. I have a couple of ideas that I'm also researching on, and I'm looking for data sets to be able to build some form of application with Apple's Core ML, machine learning. So possibly be the next thing that I would be tracker in 2018. And I'll enter in challenge, which is an annual challenge for teenager girls who have an app or a hardware product or some other type of tech project, and that solves a problem. You can enter into that. That will be another thing that I will do. So I keep making all these lists of opportunities that I'm interested in when, with their deadlines and with their requirements and such, so that I'm able to make sure that I use my app to leverage other opportunities out there, and I'm able to learn as much as possible and get be more efficient. Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't believe this. Like I feel so inspired by you. You know, the kicking off of 2018 could not have been better, other than, you know, speaking to a 16-year-old young lady from India who's absolutely, you know, smashing it in terms of what you're building. And, you know, straight after this interview, I'm gonna have to really sit down and properly write out my personal plans, because I think one of the appropriate things would have been for me to ask you, what do you want to do when you grow up? But I think I got to ask them of myself, what do I want to do when I grow up? Because you're already grown up very much. So listen, hey, thank you so much for doing this with us. And I really look forward to the release of the app and the test flight invite. I think I'm going to definitely make this my core crypto price tracker. And, you know, it's going to be interesting also to see what you call it as well. I think the app could benefit from like a nice little one word name, you know, that's kind of catchy and interesting. So I'm sure people are going to come up with all sorts of
Crypto price tracker, because I thought it's pretty explicit, and it would also rank my app higher when people search for this keyword. I've already gotten the domain as well, so likely I will stick.
Yeah, I can see it though becoming like having some sort of brand name down the line. I think crypto price tracker is very good as a descriptive term. So tell us a little bit more just quickly before we wrap up, you know, where people can find you, where people can find the app, and what you want from people to do in terms of signing up to any mailing lists or yeah.
Sure. So the website is cryptopricetrackerapp.com. CRYPTOPRICETRACKER app.com. So there's a mailing list. You can join that. So far, I've gotten over 100 subscribers on the mailing list within just 2 weeks of launching the website. So it'll be pretty good because I'll be sending the launch email. You can also find me on Twitter, where you can all find Integro tweeted about it. So you can find me at Arora Harshita 33, and you can find Crypto Price Tracker on Twitter by Crypto Track App. I think you can link all of us in the video description itself, in the caption. And you can send me an email at harshita@harshitaapps.com. That's the email I check almost every day. So I would love to hear from people who are watching this for any feedback or any suggestions, or if they just want to get in touch. You can also add me on Facebook, and I'm also the part of the ICO blockchain and cryptocurrency group that Jason Graham started. You can shoot me an email, shoot me a message anywhere.
All right, thank you so much. We'll link to all of that in the YouTube video and everywhere else, basically. Thank you so much for participating in this, and I'm wishing you all the best in 2018 and looking forward to the app. Thank you. You're an absolute inspiration. Thank you so much, and have a beautiful, beautiful year.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.